And so I know we kind of mentioned your company earlier, but let's kind of just talk about it a little bit more. So you have the company called What the Boob. So a little bit more about why did you create it and what are your goals of the company?
What the boob is actually a rebirth of prolactin. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, I myself, even though I was already a nurse, I was not a CLC, so I wasn't a certified lactation counselor. I knew about the benefits of breastfeeding, but I didn't have then the in-depth knowledge that I have now. And I needed a community. So I couldn't find one, so I wanted to create one. So I went on Instagram and I created a page called Prolactin, which was a play on the hormone prolactin that is responsible for helping you produce milk. And there I started with my journey, and it was more personal. So I would post more images again to try to normalize the Black breastfeeding experience. I was posting images and inspirational quotes and answering questions and doing videos on like breast pumping and things of that such. And because I wanted to reach more women on more of an educational stance, I decided to create What the Boob. And the whole mission of What the Boob is to educate, support, and normalize the breastfeeding experience for a woman. And I do this through the creation of very short, I like to call it the tasty of breastfeeding because the style of my videos are very funny, they're very short, but it's jam packed. You get the information that you need. It goes straight to the point. And I use that as a way of attracting moms to simplify the complications of breastfeeding. Because, a lot of moms I speak to, they come in with this idea that breastfeeding is going to be difficult off the bat. They come with that in their mind. And if you're already coming to a situation feeling that way, you might manifest it to be that way. So I try to debunk that, bring it down and say it's not that it's difficult. This is your first time breastfeeding. This is your baby's first time breastfeeding. You guys are learning to do a new dance. You just got to be patient and give it a little bit of time. So, What the Boob, we focus on just educating and supporting as best as we can to these moms. And we're looking to grow our community.
Awesome. I love that. I love, like, we keep going back to it, but just the community. I think there's the powerful thing about social media these days is that you can find that connection even if you're isolated in a town where you don't know anybody, you can still find that connection online.
Yes, that is so important. A lot of these women don't have you would be surprised how many women who don't have that support. It's many, many, many women. And I know, like, even though What the Boob is aside from my regular job, a lot of the women I deal with, and I hear about it from the women I work with from my job. So I know, and I only have a specific group of women. And if 80% of these women of 15 are telling me that they feel lonely, they're looking for a community. How can they find this community? Then that's telling me that I got to do something to create that community. Because if it's not there, I feel responsible because I know what it was like. That's why I even decided to create the community. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so needed. I mean, I we see all the time in our Facebook group too of just, it people that are just finding they're super lonely at that time, even if they did have a bunch of a community before, they're kind of in a new community now because they're figuring out this, motherhood, they're figuring out a new stage in their life.
Exactly.